So we're going to be replacing some cellar windows in this raised ranch. The house was built in 1970, so these cellar windows are almost 45 years old. They were in poor condition, not very energy efficient. So the first thing we did is we removed all of the old windows. And when you do that, you can see some of the windows have just a little bit of rot on the north side of the house on the bottom corners, and we're going to replace that wood. It's about 5/4 thick and about 3.5 inches wide, approximately 30 inches tall, so we'll replace that wood there. I've taken the old windows out and brought them to the dump and just screwed some plywood to the inside to keep the house secure. And then if we take a closer look at the windows, you can see where the old windows, when the house was constructed, it's got a cinder block foundation. But you see here that when we take the old windows out, the old windows were just set on top of wet cement and then installed. So when you take the old windows out, you've got this just ragged looking kind of cement area. So the first thing that we need to do as we go and replace these windows is we'll vacuum it up and kind of chip off the old concrete there. Not looking really to get it smooth, but just to get all the loose parts out. And then we'll prime it up with some paint, some special paint that'll adhere the new concrete to the old concrete, reducing the risks of cracks. And then we'll set up some forms. So we'll have some wooden forms on the inside and outside of that window, and then we'll fill it in with some concrete, with some mortar actually, and then we'll take the project from there. So we're going to move over to looking at the next step. I've done that on one of the other windows so far. So we'll move around the corner here, and we come to a window that I just worked on the previous couple days, and you can see that window's already removed. We cleaned up the concrete. The wood on the sides is not rotten on the east side of the house here. And then we'll take a little bit of a closer look. And you can see the new concrete here. We did this with our form. We let that set for a couple of days and then took the forms off. And then on top of there, I'll put a sill. I put a sill of 2x4 of pressure treated lumber. Angled the screws in this way into the side of the wood, countersunk them, and then also underneath here, in between the wood and the masonry, we put some liquid nails, construction adhesive. In the center there, you'll see that center wooden pole. That's only to make sure that there's a little bit of downward pressure on that 2x4, and to keep the height of the window, in this case it's 24 inches, to keep it the same as the ends. So you don't want that bowing up, and then you'll have a problem putting the window in. So the next step after that would be to take a look at what the window looks like when it's actually installed. We got these windows custom made, and when I say custom made, it doesn't mean that they're expensive. They were very reasonable price, but they're Thermopane from Pella, and you give the company the size of the rough openings. They shave off 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and then they fit pretty much right into your opening. So here again you can see the masonry work on the bottom, the pressure treated 2x4, and then that made an opening of about 39.5 by 24 inches. We slid the new window in, the custom made window. It takes about 3 weeks to get the windows, and we want to make it flush with the outside wood frame here. So all the way up and flush all the way across and back down there. So the windows they slide side to side. They come with a screen, and the next step here is that we'll prep this window for the trim, and we'll take a look at a window that's already complete here, and we'll come over here, and that's what a complete one looks like. So once you're ready to finish it off, we decided on the trim here being PVC. I'd never worked with PVC before, but everybody at the building place was recommending it. So this is PVC. It doesn't need to be primed. It doesn't need to be painted. It just needs to be kept clean. There are special screws that you use that countersink themselves, and then plugs that go in there. So PVC trim all the way around. And then on the bottom, again, PVC trim. And the top 1.5 inches here allowed us to sink some screws in to that pressure treated 2x4 that we used. And then on the bottom, silicone caulking. And then finally, this will be the color paint that will repaint the foundation after we're done with the window project. So there you have it, from pretty much from start to finish, without all of the grunt work of ripping the windows out. But the windows take about probably 5 or 10 minutes to get out if you know what you're doing. You just take a pry bar and a Sawzall, and you make a couple cuts with the Sawzall and use the pry bar, and the window comes right out. So we'll take a look, a follow-up later once all of the windows are in.